Welcome back everyone to Criminology Clips. Today we're going to be looking at Unit 2 AC2.2 and the learning theories of criminality. There's three that we need to know of, but we're focusing on differential association theory today. Now, differential association theory was proposed by Sutherland in 1939, and Sutherland suggested that everyone has associations with criminals and non-criminals, and whether or not someone turns out to be a criminal will depend on whether the criminal associations outweigh the non-criminal associations. And if they do, then offending behaviour will occur. And if the criminal association doesn't outweigh the non-criminal association, then offending won't occur. He even suggested that you could develop a mathematical formula to determine whether or not someone would offend based on these associations. He proposed 9 key principles. Let's have a look at these 9 key principles. So the first one is that offending behaviour is learned, that it's learned through associations with others, and that it happens within intimate and personal groups, so friends and family. And that's like the basis of social learning theory, isn't it? Now the next 3 are that we learn attitudes towards crime. We learn how acceptable crime is, and we learn the techniques of crime. So learning the attitudes of crime, that's going to be either pro or anti-crime. You're either going to have the attitude that crime is bad or crime is good, and that's learned. The acceptability of crime can vary. So some associations, particular types of crime are acceptable, but in other associations they're not. For example, some think that taking illegal drugs at the weekend might be okay, but armed robbery would not be acceptable. So it's that difference between what crimes are acceptable or not. And the last one, we learn techniques of crime. Now these are the practical skills, such as how to hotwire a car or how to commit fraud using the internet. Now all of these attitudes, acceptability and techniques of crime are directional, so they're either pro or anti-crime. And whether or not someone becomes a criminal will depend on the weighting of those pro or anti-criminal influences. Now the last 3 are based around the idea that learning experiences are different for each individual, and the learning process for crime is the same as the learning process for any other type of behaviour. He also suggested that need is not enough of a reason to commit crime. He suggested there were plenty of people that are in need of things like money or other resources that don't turn to crime. So he said offending behaviour involved these learning processes, not just the situation of need. So have a look at these scenarios, and can you use any of Sutherland's key principles to explain the following situations? Now beware, there is a red herring in there. If you can identify which one of those situations cannot be explained by Sutherland's key principles, you're doing well.